Just 2 years ago, this is what the MAAC tournament looked like. After canceling the tournament for the 2019-2020 season, disappointment loomed over Commissioner of the MAAC, Rich Enzer, for what was supposed to be a successful week.
We've gotten to know the community. We had 1,000 schools, children that were going to come to the Kids' Day. There were a lot of pieces that once I said we're not doing a tournament, a lot of people were very disappointed, and it included me. So it was a difficult announcement, not a difficult decision, though.
Fast forward to the 2020-21 season, empty seats and echoes from the players and coaches were all you would have heard, along with some family who were the only ones allowed in the stands. One major change at the MAAC tournament last year was the handling of the media. Former Quinnipiac Bobcats Sports Network chairman and broadcaster of those tournament games, Will Fowler, talked about his experience.
The big thing that felt very much different was press row, in quotes, was not at the baseline. It was not anywhere near the court. It was up in the nosebleeds. That's where they had the press sit. And it was because they didn't want anybody near the players or coaches who didn't need to be.
Eric Kerr, one of the only Quinnipiac media members to go to Atlantic City all 3 years, had similar experiences as Fowler.
And we were still able to get fairly close to, shooting video, but we weren't on the court at all. We had to go kind of the second level where the parents' fans would normally sit on the left side of the arena, rather than being out on the court floor and being right next to near all the action.
And this is what it looked like this year. As you can see, there were already more fans at the Quinnipiac or St. Peter's game than there were the entire MAAC tournament last year. Families and fans couldn't wait to get back into Boardwalk Hall. Chants and cheering rang throughout the hall, and school spirit was on full display for the players who worked hard the whole season just to get to Atlantic City.
I think branding-wise, it's important to have fans there, and also I think the athletes feed off of that, frankly. For many of them, they don't see those kind of crowds in the normal year. Not all the schools. Monmouth, for instance, has a good fan base. Siena does. But to have it even in the tournament atmosphere where it's, it's either win or go home, and really, I think they really do feed off of that.
Quinnipiac men's basketball head coach Baker Dunleavy was glad to see fans back in the stadium and have his players cheered on by anyone who would come and watch.
I think just the ability to know, hey, if you want to invite somebody to come to the game, they can come. And the people that have been waiting a long time to support our kids were able to do that. So we were excited about that.
Having fans at tournaments brings in a whole new atmosphere that can't compare anywhere else. Having the tournament back to normal this year allowed for Quinnipiac students and media members and anyone else who wanted to go. Seth Fromowitz, a first-year multimedia producer at Quinnipiac, was excited to get his feet wet at such a big event and couldn't tell the difference between this year's tournament to one which was turned upside down just the past few years.
Broadly, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was canceled last year or that there's problems with it before with COVID. But, talking to some people are, you could tell they were a bit unfamiliar with it. So when you dive into it and see deeper, you see a bit of unfamiliarity or a bit of rustiness when it comes to working tournaments. But in general, I think you would not have been able to tell.
Although there was high praise, getting the tournament back to normal this year wasn't an easy task.
The problem was going into January, February, we were still looking at coronavirus outbreaks, and we were worried about whether teams would be able to participate. And then in the Atlantic City environment, we had issues relative to getting our community relations programs going. The schools were not open. The grade schools and middle schools were not open to visits or class trips to the event.
Prior to the tournament, the MAAC said the masks were optional for attendees and vaccine cards had to be submitted for media members. With the MAAC getting a one-year extension with the Atlantic City venue, it remains to be seen how the tournament will build off one normal year going into next season. AJ Fernrohr, QNN.